So now we know enough to be dangerous. We've learned how to talk to AI. We know what it's good at. We know where it struggles and how we can give it context on what we do. What we want to do now is to put it to work in our jobs so that we can actually save time and go back to our promise or our goal at the start of this course where I said, I want to save you at least 1 hour a week. To do that, we're going to run a simple but powerful exercise called a productivity audit. Think of it as a checklist that helps you answer the question, where can I save time or improve my output using AI? This task is a way to find opportunities in your workflow specific to what you do every day and identify, oh, can I use AI here? It's going to involve 3 steps that we will run through. Step 1 is just to list out your weekly or monthly tasks that you complete. We'll then categorize each task type. And then finally, we'll ask and run our AI test. It's a questionnaire that helps us to understand, hey, can we use AI here? So let's get started. So step 1, list your weekly or monthly tasks. What I want you to do is to start by looking at your typical week or typical month. So look at your calendar, your notebook, your to-do list, whatever you use to manage your time. Write down the recurring tasks you do weekly or monthly. Some examples that could help get you thinking that I have found an opportunity or I commonly do are sending client emails, updating site diaries, reviewing specifications, or updating dashboards and spreadsheets. Already, just from writing these tasks down, you might notice that some are repetitive or admin heavy. And thinking back to the AI capability areas we covered earlier, these could be perfect candidates for AI to support. Now we move on to step 2, categorize each task type. So for each task, I want you to ask yourself, what kind of task is this? And then label them into one of 3 categories. It could be repetitive, a task that is time consuming or manual. It could be comms, things like emails, reports, updates, or summaries that you regularly do. Or thirdly, analysis. So that could be comparing scopes, reviewing data, or extracting insights and showcasing tables and graphs. This step helps you to see and understand where AI could most likely help you. So for example, for me, writing project reports and updating site logs might fall under repetitive. Sending consistent client emails is a comms task, or creating meeting agendas. Reviewing specs or data comparisons, that's an analysis-based task. It's important to note that some tasks may not fall under these categories, and there is still an opportunity to use AI for them, but it just might not neatly fit into a box. So that's where step 3 comes in, where we run the AI test. So for these tasks, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. Firstly, is this task repeatable or structured? Secondly, do I already have examples of this kind of work that I could showcase to someone? And then thirdly, if I could, would I want to delegate this task to a junior? A good way of thinking about that third question is, what is the risk associated with this task? Now, if you answered yes to any of these 3 questions, AI could probably help. What I would like you to do now, if you'd like, is to pause this video now and complete the audit yourself. Or you can keep watching, see what my audit looks like, and then how I used AI to complete one of the tasks I identified and get to that place of saving me an hour of time a week. So here's what my audit looks like. What you can see here on the left is I've written out some task descriptions, just looking through my calendar, my to-do list, and there's a variety of tasks that I complete on a weekly or a monthly basis. And I've just done a bit of a brain dump to pop them in here. I've then categorized these as repetitive, comms, or analysis tasks. You can add additional categories if they make sense for the role that you're completing. And then I've started to go through and ask myself, is this structured? Do I have examples? So is there something that I could, if my AI guidelines allow me to, upload to AI as an example? And then I've also asked, would I delegate it? And through this process, I start to notice, hey, there's tasks here that I can complete with AI. And one of the tasks that I have identified is every single week, I've got to write this
safety and environment email to the client. So every week we complete a site walk with the client just to check for any safety issues or environmental risks. And that's quite important because when we're working on greenfield sites in Australia, there's often native flora that we need to be mindful of when we're going through our construction phase and we can't go near it. So even if there's no issues, we still need to send a professional summary and an update to the client. Let's walk through how I could use AI to complete this quickly. So my first step is just to write an initial prompt, and I like using that role goal format framework. So what I have here is my prompt. So I say, you are a site engineer. Your goal is to write a weekly safety and environment summary email to the client after a joint site walk. I want the response format as dot points and the tone to be professional. I then added in some of the key points from this week's walk. What I can see now is the first draft with AI. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to provide responses and feedback so that we can quickly iterate to our final output.
So what we can see now is that AI has given me an output that's about 90% of the way there. I'm going to make a few final tweaks before I send it off to the team. But the thing is, I complete this task every week in the same style, and starting a new chat every time and going through this conversational method of talking to AI and this full process, it's a bit time consuming. So what I can do instead is actually get AI to give me a prompt that I can enter every week.
I'll tell AI my problem. I complete this task every week and update the key observations each time. Can you write a prompt I can reuse and modify whenever I need to do this? And what I have now is a reusable prompt that I can complete this task every single week quickly. All I need to do is just copy this and paste this in with the information fields such as the key observations or the date filled in, so AI can generate this email for me. This helps me to save time and stay consistent.
So now that you've seen an example of my productivity audit and then an example of me choosing a high value task that I think AI can help me in and save me time, I want you to complete your own productivity audit if you already haven't done so. And then pick one task from your list as the first opportunity to use AI in your real life working role. I want you to write a prompt. I want you to complete the task using AI, then review that response and iterate until you get to a result that you are happy with and willing to send off to the client or to provide to your boss, whoever that is. Once you do that, I want you to ask AI and tell it, can you give me a reusable prompt for this task? I complete this task every week, every month, or every so often. And then I want you to save that prompt, so that every single time you complete this task, every time you need to do it in your role, you will have that prompt ready to go. And over time, what you will do is you'll build a prompt library for your role. It's a set of AI-ready workflows tailored to you. And this is where the real time savings start to add up and really provide you value in your roles. What you can do that's really valuable is start to share this prompt library to your friends, to your colleagues, to other people in your team. And you can collaborate and come together and go, these are the best prompts that I use, and this is how I save time in my role. And we can all start to improve and start to do more with less. Now, in our description, we've also created a worksheet that's linked on the Joist AI blog that will help you to guide your audit, along with some real-world prompt templates, the starting of a library that you can test out and start hitting the ground running.